Hello everybody. So I tried to film this a few times. I just spent like the last half hour clearing out my storage on my phone, so I have done a lot to make this video great. Also, I did my makeup and it's much understated on camera. I look like Belle Delphine, you know, the girl with the bathwater. Like, pink and glitter is everywhere. Can you see this glitter right now? Look. Yas. So anyway, today we're going to talk about bleach pens, how to use them on the shirt, what to do to the shirt so it doesn't mess everything up like your other clothes or itself. And yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Also, channel update. I ordered a ring light and it has a phone stand, so that's super exciting. I'll get to use a better angle and better lighting, and I can even move it around. I think it extends to like 5 feet tall or something, so I could totally show you how I put on way too much pink and glitter if anyone wants to follow along and pretend to be Belle Delphine for a day. But yeah, that's super fun. I did get some new brushes from BH Cosmetics and they're super cute and so soft, so I'm excited to use them. I can't wear makeup to my job because I work in a clean room, so I kind of like compensate for the whole 5 days that I couldn't wear any the one time I do it on the weekend, which is like, yeah, I have about 5 days worth on right now. Yeah, so without further ado, the official bleach pen. It looks so official. So what I did to make this, which I make it myself. I know on Amazon they sell them for like 10 or 12 bucks, like bleach gel pen, but I'm also very much about saving money, so DIY and saving money go together well. I made this for $2. I spent $1 on a set of dry erase markers from Dollar Tree, which I have 4 other colors that came in the set, and then they sell like literally like a gallon of bleach for $1 there, and it works. It's like actual bleach. So I took the yellow marker because I don't use yellow markers. Like, it just gives me a headache and it's hard to read, so I don't know who does, but I popped the back off and I took the cartridge out, which the cartridge is just it's like this rolled up cotton in some like plastic wrap stuff, and it's full of the ink. So you put it in like a bowl of water and then put gloves on unless you want yellow hands and probably like poison in your blood. So you put on your gloves and you squish it in the water, and then you make new water and you squish it again until the water is clear. And then you could let the cartridge dry out. I think it would be much more effective if you did that. So maybe leave it out like overnight or for a day and let it dry. And then make yourself a Tupperware container where the cartridge can fit and you can close it. And put some bleach in there, enough to cover the cartridge, but don't go crazy, just put enough. And then let it sit for... It could probably absorb enough bleach in half an hour, but if you let it sit for a couple hours, you know for sure it's like full of bleach. And then you put it back in here. And what you also want to make sure, by the way, is so you got the cartridge out and you got the ink out of the cartridge. And this still looks yellow, but I promise you it's like there's no yellow. It's just it's stained, but all the ink is out. So make sure you rinse this out with water and stuff and let it dry too before you put the bleach. So anyway, bleach soak cartridge goes in the end. Put this on and put on a label. Don't let anyone think this is a normal marker and get bleach on whatever. Like, make sure it's labeled, and also if you do a homemade label, the label will get bleached, so they'll know that you're not just kidding. It's actually bleach. So yeah, you can use whatever the heck marker you want and take out the cartridge, remove ink, put bleach. And then the bleach is in here. And it doesn't really drip out, like maybe when it's fresh it does, but I made this over a year ago. It still works, but when I use it, I just make myself a little container that has a lid of bleach. And what I've also found is as you use the bleach, of course you have the lid off when you're using it because you want to dip the marker and then do your stuff and then dip it again. And the bleach like evaporates, so you're left with just water, because of course bleach is not 100% bleach because that'd be insane. So the bleach is more volatile than the water and it evaporates away. So if you are using the same container for multiple days, you'll notice on the, not the first day, that you're putting a bunch on your project and it's like not doing anything and it's taking longer to dry, get another little thing. So I just like to put a tiny bit at the bottom because I know that it's going to evaporate faster than I'm going to use it, so why would I waste my bleach and harass the environment by dumping it in the drain? So Bay's alarm's going off. Anyway, so do that. Now, here's a project I just did. So now you know how to make the pen and how to kind of use it. And this is a project I did. I just got this shirt at like grocery outlet. It was like on sale for $5. And I didn't know I was going to do a project with it, but it was $5 and I was like, yes. So over a year later, here I am using it. And when I do these things, first, I put the shirt on and I already know what design I want before I start. So then I put the shirt on and I have a little piece of chalk and I mark roughly like this is the like top and bottom of where I want the design, and then these are the sides where I want the design, and make sure it's centered unless you don't want it to be, but you know. So what I did here is I marked the top and bottom. I drew the bottom line, the width I wanted, and then I marked here and here the width I wanted and connected the lines. I used a straight edge and I draw it out in either chalk or a light colored pencil, not bleach. Like, don't use the bleach until you've got the whole thing ready to go, because once you put it on there, you're committed. Yeah, and then I did the lid details, and then I was like, I need 7 rows of words. So I measured this part, and I'm like, okay, that divided by 7. So then I drew little like tick marks with the chalk of where each row is, and from there I kind of freehanded the words with the pencil. And then once everything was drawn on in pencil, I traced it in bleach. So I'm not going to open the lid on this thing, but basically, oh boy, I gotta move the camera now. This setup is janky. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll be happy when that stand gets here. Okay, so also this shirt says I need coffee. I didn't make this one, I just bought it, but yeah. What I'll do is I have a piece of cardboard that is slightly wider than the shirt, and I pull the shirt over the cardboard, and then I pull the shirt, look, bleach. I pull the shirt's front like a little bit around the sides to make it tight, and use binder clips to hold it this way and this way, so it's fully pinned on there, and the fabric is slightly stretched, because what you don't want is the fabric to be super relaxed and have any kind of bunching, because then when you put the bleach, it's gonna like go on way too much fabric area, and you're gonna have like this mess. It's gonna be like bleeding bleach, and it's gonna look nasty. So you want to pull it a little bit tight, and definitely use a cardboard. Cut out a rectangle cardboard that you can use from, everybody has cardboard, okay? And do that, pin it on there, and then when you're, this is crazy, when you're doing the design, so you just pretend I'm not done, right? I'm gonna open my pen, I'm gonna dip it in the bleach, and I'm gonna wipe off any excess. If you can see a drop on the tip of your pen, rip. Don't put that on there. I did that, and I had a dot, and I'll tell you how I fixed that. But yeah, you basically dip it in here, and then you just pick a spot, and you just tap, 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 and like kind of drag it down the line, and tap, 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 and drag it. And you can see when it's like wet, but it's not like bleeding. You just want to barely make it wet and see that it's on there, but you do not want it to bleed past the line, unless you want a really thick, messy line. That's up to you. But if you haven't done this before, if you have a scrap of dark fabric, it's good to practice on that. Like maybe trace out some designs in the chalk and then trace it with the bleach and see what happens if you do this technique or that technique or this much bleach or whatever. And for this, when you actually commit to your real project, if you're unsure, just do a really light layer first. And then let it dry, and if it's fresh bleach, it won't take that long to dry. It'll be like probably 20 minutes is plenty of time. And you'll see once it's fully dried, the bleach does react a little bit until it's fully dry, so don't look at it halfway through and then be like, oh, it's not light enough, and then put more bleach, because it does weaken the fabric a little bit. It's not a huge deal, but you also don't want some spots that are like crazy white and then have other spots that are still like kind of orangey. So you can go over as many times as you want though. Once you're done using the bleach and the design is bleached and everything is the color you want, if you messed up, which you probably will, then I'm going to show you where I messed up. Okay, so by this O, you can see there was a dot. And I've already washed this shirt like twice. So this is basically set. This is how it's going to look. And what I did was I took a Sharpie and I actually went around all the letters and I covered any mistakes. So that was a big white dot and now it's from far away. You can't barely see it. And if I really wanted to, I could do more Sharpie again. And the same thing here. I put too much bleach here and all of this bled into the top line. So I separated again with Sharpie. And like I said, I've washed this twice. I let all the Sharpie dry for like over 24 hours before I washed it. And so this turned out really well. I probably went over everything 3 times with the bleach and then did the Sharpie around literally every letter. And what I also noticed was this is a gray shirt and the Sharpie is black. So if you just trace the letters, it's a really stark contrast but against the gray, even though you wouldn't think it is. So you can kind of see here these lines. And I took the Sharpie and kind of did not like solid filling it in, but like lines to kind of blend the black with the gray. And it just makes it pop a lot. So I did not know that. I wasn't sure if it was going to mess up the shirt or not, but it turned out fine. You can use Sharpie to do that. And this is my shirt. So I guess I could technically do touch-ups anytime with bleach or Sharpie. I might do the Sharpie again after a while if those spots start showing through more, but I have not tried putting bleach onto Sharpie. So you can try that at your own risk, but that's basically all I had for today. I'm still using the janky setup where I put my phone on my speaker and lean it on the monitor, but like I said, I have that ring light with the phone like holder attachment coming, and that's super exciting. I got a good deal on Mercari. Everybody knows I love Mercari, so it was like 25 bucks for that thing, which is pretty good. And yeah, that's all I had. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys can make some cool fun stuff, and always be careful with bleach. Alright, bye.